So the shortlist is created for Forest as they look to replace Ange Postecoglou. But out of these names, who's attracting you the most? Welcome to your Forest News. Hi guys, hope you're doing well and welcome to your Forest News where, you guessed it, we're going to be talking about managers, third manager in pretty much as many months for Forest. We're going to go through the candidates, we're going to go through the pros and cons of each one, and then we're going to go through the likelihood of which one Forest are going to get. Expect an announcement on this either today or tomorrow. Forest cannot sit around, and we need to have maybe a bit of a discussion on Marinakis and what's going on. So lots to cover off. So sit back, get comfortable. Before you do, make sure you've hit the like button. Make sure you've subscribed as well. If you are new here, check out the merch store. You can get your Greek father tops. I still believe in him. Scan that QR code or click on the link below. Okay, in fact, let's start with Marinakis. Now, you guys know I love Marinakis. I was on the news yesterday defending Marinakis where I feel like they were looking for sound bites about why Forest fans should be turning on Marinakis. But I still trust in what he's doing because I believe the core of Marinakis is Forest and he cares what's best for the club. And he's done nothing to change that opinion. I said he made a mistake. Everyone makes mistakes. Even I make mistakes. But he finally pulled, the flush on the toilet and got rid of his mistake. That's now done and dusted. So we can move on. But this next appointment has to be correct. The course has to be set back on track. So he's got to make the right decision. Yes, he should have done this in the international break so that the manager's not coming in with the Thursday game looming on the horizon against Porto, who have won like 10 out their last 11 games, scored nearly 30 goals and conceded 2. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that game. But Marinakis has got to get this right. It can't be knee-jerk. It can't be impulse. It has to be the right person to lead us on. Now, what I'm understanding before we go into the candidates is that ideally, Marinakis, I think number one on his list is Marco Silva. And he wants to ideally hold out for Silva till the summer, which would mean a short-term appointment. Well, technically not that short. The season is just getting underway to get us to the end. But the managers he's talking to probably want longer-term commitments. But we'll come on to that in a second. And who are the candidates? Well, there should be no surprise to you. Let's start with Stone Cold Sean Austin, man. Sean Dyche. So, pros and cons. Subconsciously, I'm choking. Excuse me. Okay, I'm fully against Sean Dyche. I've explained my reasons many times. Maybe you guys haven't heard them. But this is a break glass in case of emergency for February, for March, for January at the earliest, not in bloody October, 8 games in, where the table's still malleable. It hasn't settled itself down. This guy's one of the most boring managers I've seen in terms of football style. Yes, he lives in Nottingham. Yes, Steve Stone. And, I love Ian Wone, man. He's scored some of the best goals I've ever seen, especially those ones against Spurs, those free kicks. But that doesn't mean I want them in charge of our club. So where's his strengths? There'll be no drama with Sean Dyche. But again, ask the Everton fans. They didn't like him at all. Even his pressers, they annoyed him in there. Even sometimes the way he spoke about the fans. This is his dream job. This is the thing though. This would be a pro for him. But sometimes having your dream job doesn't work out to be exactly how you wanted it. Now, with Sean Dyche, he doesn't want a short-term contract. He wants to go beyond next season. So he wants to protect himself in case he gets sacked, and he wants a longer-term contract so he's making some more money. That in itself tells you what you need to know about him. He knows he's not in it for the long run. He won't get the long run. He is a firefighter, and that's all he is. It's too early in the season for firefighting. Can he get the defense organized? Yes. Will he keep Forest up if that's where you think we are? Yeah, he will. But that's still, it's not progression from last season. We're digressing by doing that. We've got a European campaign. The thought of Sean Dyche being in charge against Porto makes my stomach turn over. It does. And yes, I know there will be those of you that are Sean Dyche in, and I hear it. I get it. I understand. Panic levels are at different levels at the moment. I'm not here to say, this is my decision and you should agree with me. I'm just here to tell you my opinion and what the talk is. Now, the next one, which emerged yesterday, we've got a video on it as well, by the way. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Roberto Mancini. A lot of pros and he has a lot of cons as well. Yes, he looks fantastic in his suit, still flexing a six-pack and everything. Premier League winner, FA Cup winner, Serie A winner, European football winner as well with Italy. He's done it all. Bit old at 60, coming towards the end of career. Hasn't managed club football for a good number of years. Been out of a job since, I think, October 2024. Could he be a bit ring rusty? But he just brings an air of authority to him. Someone who's won what he's won. When they step into the club, when he starts to talk, people will listen. And there's reports to say that he's happy to work under Marinakis. There's reports to say he doesn't even mind if it was something short term. I like this. I say bring Roberto Mancini in, have him till the summer, see what he's done with Forest, and then maybe extend it. If it's been an average season, then bring in my boy, who we'll talk on in a second, in Marco Silva. So there are pros to it, but there are cons on Roberto Mancini. And then the third one is, of course, Marco Silva. Now, there are reports to suggest that Forest are willing to pay compensation to get a manager that's in a job. Obviously, this goes against the recent grain with Marinakis, who tends to like to appoint managers out of jobs. Now, the fee for Marco Silva to Fulham would be about £7 to £8 million. Like, in footballing terms, how deep is that? Not very. But there are plenty of reports to suggest that Forest are flying close to the PSR kind of cutoff line. And with having to pay Nuno out, with having to pay Ange out as well, and then a further 8 million, it could bring it close to the balance books. I say, so what? Like, there are so many loopholes in PSR. Like, if it gets to this stage, sell part of the car park or something. Do what Chelsea did. You could sell part of the women's team. We saw Aston Villa doing that last year. There are plenty of levers that you can pull to get yourselves away from PSR, so you don't have to worry about things like that. So if the right man is Marco Silva in the eyes of Marinakis, then just damn well go and get him. Because if he feels that strongly about it, and I would agree, this guy can do it, and he's having a torrid time right now at Fulham. It's almost like he's got his eye at Forest. Then go and do it. What are his pros and cons? I think there are plenty of pros. I think he makes the most out of squads that aren't as good as the players are and gets the maximum out of those players. He's made Fulham well established and comfortable. Obviously, they came up when we did. And they have a squad that I don't actually fully rate. And he gets great players out of them and makes them look so good. So I see a lot of pros. Cons, we don't know exactly how things ended between him and Marinakis when he was at Olympiacos. So there could be something there, but, it was done on personal terms, I think, is how they ended things, whatever that means. In this day and age, we don't really know. But we know there is a relationship, and Marinakis is a huge admirer. I think at some point he ends up as our manager, be it tomorrow, today, or in the summer. Because he's out of contract, and I don't think there's any signs that he signs a new one for Fulham. So those are the three candidates. Now, I just want to run you through a quick article as well. Cue the fancy flip around. I love it. This is in The Guardian talking about the potential replacements and everything. So we'll just quickly go through this as well. Forest approached Dyche and Mancini after Postecoglou was sacked. So Forest have sounded out Dyche and Roberto Mancini. So I just want to bring you up to speed with the latest that's going on. After sacking head coach Ange Postecoglou, Marinakis made the call. We know all that, okay? Forest have been assessing potential successors to Postecoglou since their humiliating defeat to Midtjylland before the international break, during which the supporters turned on the Australian. Postecoglou's departure, 8 games, blah, blah, blah. He got to say goodbye. So anyway, here we go to the main bit. Mancini and Dyche are both out of work. While Marinakis is a long-standing admirer of Marco Silva, the Fulham manager, whom he previously appointed at Olympiacos, the other major player in his stable of clubs. Silva's Fulham contract, which expires at the end of the season, is thought to contain a buyout clause of about 8 million. This is the key bit. Forest are willing to pay compensation for a manager, but are mindful of PSR regulations after sacking a second manager in 2 months, plus a summer spend of about 200 million on 13 new players. Postecoglou's replaced Nuno, relationship, Edu, blah, blah, blah. And on Mancini, he's not managed since leaving his role at the Sardinia manager, 12 months ago. The Italian led Manchester City to their first Premier League title in 11-12. Aguero! Dyche, a former Forest trainee, lives close to the City ground, and his long-standing assistant Ian Woe and Steve Stone are former Forest players. Blah, blah, blah. The length of the contract Marinakis is willing to offer could provide decisive factor in accelerating talks with candidates over the next 24 hours. Forest return to action in Europa League against Porto on Thursday, by which point it is expected Postecoglou's replacement will be in situ. Forest have 1 point from a possible 6. Yes, we already know that. So a couple of key points there. This length of contract seems to be the sticking point, okay? We know why with Dyche he wants longer. With Mancini, not quite clear, but the talk is that he'll accept shorter than that. With Marco Silva, I think all roads are leading towards him. And I think Marinakis deep down inside thinks, if I could just get something to get me to June, then I can get him for free and save 8 million. I just don't see the point in scrimping. So how's my hierarchy of ordering this? It's quite simple. Marco Silva is my number 1 choice. Mancini is my second choice. Dyche, he's not even in the race of 3 names. I just wouldn't even put him there. I don't want him. I've got no interest in him. And we all know what that means. It means Dyche will probably be our new manager. And I'm going to have to deal with it. So let me know your order of those 3 managers. There's so many videos out from yesterday, kind of bringing you guys up to speed on everything. We got Grumpy Old Reds tonight as well, 7:30, something like that, where we will chew the fat over this conversation, and no doubt there'll be further developments. We'll keep you posted on those, so make sure you've got your notifications on. If you haven't hit the like button, please do so, and make sure you're subscribed. We'll see you tonight. Come on, you Reds.